All right, welders, let's get right to it. This is going to be the 245s rolled offset on the tanks. This should be your second project with the 45s. The first project was the 290s, and the third project is going to be where we tie in our 12-inch spool piece. So before we get going here, I got to apologize to Hayden. Hayden and Carissa kind of leading the charge for us. And we learned a hard lesson about this particular, let me turn this around, this particular measurement right here, which is what we're going to kind of get in detail about, okay? So once again, you got to pull your own measurements. What I'd like to see you do is measure from flange to flange, and then figure out a way to get to the center point of the south tank, okay? So one of the first things that we have to find out is what size of tank this is. Now there's a lot of methods that we can use to do this. We can lay a level on the side of the tank, a level on this side, and then measure across. We can do it that way. We can also throw a tape all the way around the circumference of the tank and divide by pi. That'll give us a way to give us the size of the tank. And you know, like I say, these are all the same tanks, but there's a couple of methods that you can use to find out the size of any size tank, pipe, things like that. So we can use this exercise, okay? This pipe will come out to be in 36 inches in diameter. 36 divided in half, so we got a radius here of 18 inches. And then all the outlets, or at least most of them, you'll have to pull the tape on the particular one that you're on, and you're going to get a 6-inch outlet. These are pretty standard along all of our tanks in the shop. So this will be 6 inches, and this part right here will be 6 inches. Kind of typical all the way around the tank. So let's kind of work this problem out a little bit. If you'll measure in between flanges, the whole point to this, we've got to find this point here on the run, 2-inch runs. We got to get to the center of the 45. The way to do that is we're going to measure tank face to face. We already know that the tank is 36 inches. Half of that is 18. And plus 6 inch on the outlet, that's going to give us 24 inches. So 24 inches from this point to the center of the tank. Then we add whatever measurement that you get to from face to face. I came up with 77.625, which is 77 and 5/8. Then we can do the travel, because now we're traveling on a 45. So we're going to add 18 plus 6, plus we got the 2.5 for the flange, a 1/8 of an inch gap for MIG, and then of course center to the 2-inch 45, which is inch and 3/8. I came up with 4 inches there. Remember, pull your tape, double check these measurements. Giving me a total length of 28 inches. Now, in order for me to find the set and the run, or run and set of this, I got to take 28 inches and divide it by the cosecant of 45, which is 1.414. We should be kind of familiar with these angle functions on our trig table. Anything on a 45, remember, whatever it is on your run, the same thing's got to be on your set for it to be a true 45. So the cosecant of 45 is 1.414. So I'm going to take that number, divide it by 1.414, and I'm going to get 19.80. Do not start rounding up on your numbers, on your decimal numbers, until we get all this squared away. Then we can either round up or round down to the nearest 16th. That's how we're going to do this, okay? So I came up with 19.80, and that's going to give us a run of 19.8 and a set of 19.80. So that's going to be the distance from this point to the center of this flange. Now that gives us 19.80 from the center of the tank to the center of this elbow in this plane right here. So in this distance here. Notice that 19.80 is less than the 24, so it gives us a difference of 4.2 inches. That's the difference in this point, okay? And what I've done is, what makes it easier for me is that I'll go ahead and add the entire amount from flange to the center. That way I can start taking these measurements off. So from flange to the center, I've got 77 5/8, and from that I'm already taking 19.80. Okay? Now what we have to do, now we got us a hard point here that we can tie to. Now we have us a measurement from this point to the edge, which is on this side. Remember, right here we still have a flange, gap, and connection, and a 45. So we got to account for that. So we're going to measure that up. That distance is going to come out to 4 inches. Now we know our set. Our set is 19.80. Here's where things start getting a little funky. We have a rolled offset. If this piece was tying in straight into it, then we would go with the 19.80. But that's going to change, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this page around to the back here. And now we got some different details that we need to look at. Okay? Let me get that to focus up. Put my pencil here, okay? All right. Now, here is the distance from your flange, from the pipe, to the center of the flange that you're rolling to. That distance is going to be 8 inches. Our height is still 19.80, so our set is still the same, but now there is our triangle, and we've got to do the Pythagorean triangle to figure out this, the math on this. So it's going to be a squared times b squared equals c squared, okay? So once you get all that rounded up, we're going to find out from this point to this point is going to be 21.355. 21.355. So now that changes the set. The set is changed because remember, if we were straight up and down, it would be 19 inches. 19.8 inches. But now that we got to roll over, we got to lengthen to get to this point. So now our new center, the center is going to be 21.355. So let me switch this page back over. That's our new set. So now our set is 21.355. Now our new set in this direction is 21.355. So if we take 21.355 and multiply it times the cosecant of 45, which is 1.414, that's how we're going to get 30.20. 30.20. Now I've taken the liberty here to take off 2 elbows and 2 gaps. And so our pup length, there's a P with the circle on it, there's our pup length, is at 27.2 length on our pup length. So now we have this measurement, we have this measurement, we have this measurement, and now we can take these 3, take them from that distance, and this is what we have left over here. 32.47. From this point here, we've got 2 elbows. 1 elbow here, 1 elbow here, plus 2 gaps. Once I've done a little math on that, I came out with 29 7/16. There's my P with the circle on it. That's my pup length. And so now we got a pup length in 2 different planes here. This one and this one, or 2 different runs. I'm sorry. I hope this helps out. Remember, here's a couple of little details. Once you roll, I'm going to flip this page back over. Once you rotate your flange to this plane, remember, look at that flange. Look at the 2 hole of that flange. We found, because of our trig, that we were able to catch 22 degrees. And remember, our triangle should equal 180 degrees. There's 90. There's the 22 degrees. 22 from 90 is 68. So I've got 180 degrees that I can go around here. That helps me. All right, sorry about that. Let me get that out of the way. Okay. So that's going to help me figure out the angle. This angle in this way is 22 degrees and 68 degrees. See how it's got to orientate with the flange. The flange has still got to stay on this plane. That's how we're going to buckle it up. That's the way the flanges are on the tank. So this thing's got to rotate over 22 degrees. The bottom one should stay even. See how it's got the two holes on the flange there? That one should stay even. That one's a straight run. The only thing that rolls here is the 90. The 90 should roll. So these are some things I'm hope this helps in leveling out your new piece. Let's get this thing worked out. It shouldn't be easy. It should be tough. And I know you guys are up to the task. Holler at me for any questions, okay? All right, you guys have a good evening. Bye.